Guys, my name is Akhil Boddu, and I will be the head teacher for the Introduction to Software Engineering course. I was actually, a little bit background about me, I was actually born in India, Hyderabad. I grew up in Kenya, Nairobi, and I actually came to South Africa to pursue my computer science and information systems degree. And I fell in love with programming. I think when I was in my second year, first year was pretty hard for me. And since I actually ended up working on a lot of freelance projects as a web developer, and I also run two companies now. One is basically an online coding school, which is powered by AI, and the other one is basically a dev shop where we actually build apps and websites, bespoke apps and websites based on requests that we receive from various different kinds of people, right? Mostly people who are working in corporates, or some people who have always had an idea but they don't have the technical expertise to deliver on that idea. So we work with those people to actually develop applications, right? So throughout this entire journey, I have learned a lot as a web developer, as an engineer. And what I love most about software engineering is that you get to actually see what you're building get used by a lot of people. I think that's the most exciting thing for me. What is the class schedule, class layout, and engagement? All right, so basically the class is broken down into 2 hours of live sessions with me, right? So we'll be going through lots of concepts, we'll be practicing stuff together, and then we'll have a 1 hour session where you will get a lot of assistance from a teaching assistant who is very well versed with whatever we'll be going through, right? Also, please note that you don't actually need any kind of past experience. This is totally beginner friendly. I'll be taking you from total scratch to actually learning about software engineering from the lens of web development, where you'll actually see visually what you're building. All right, so what is software engineering? Software engineering is basically the process of problem solving, where you have a problem or an idea, and that process of going through creating a solution and a system that's going to deliver on solving that problem. That's what software engineering is, right? How is software engineering being used today, and what is the goal of attending this software engineering course? So how is it being used today? It's being used everywhere, right? A lot of the big companies, actually, whoever is going online, whoever needs some kind of analytics to happen to make decisions for better marketing, all the big companies are using software engineering. It's really widely used in industry. What is the goal of attending this course? The goal for attending this course is to get you up to speed with the basics of what software engineering is like from the lens of JavaScript. And the reason why we're doing JavaScript is because it also allows you to do web development. So you can actually see the kind of concepts that you're learning, the principles you're learning, get applied in web development, right? What does this software engineering involve, and what does software engineering as a profession allow you to accomplish, right? So software engineering basically is going to involve JavaScript, as I said, and what we'll be doing is we'll be learning basic concepts of how we can create solutions. So we're going to go through the process of how we can create solutions, and I'll touch a little more on like the micro internship you'll be working on and the micro project you'll be working on, where you'll actually be building something real and applying your software engineering concepts. So it's basically testing your problem solving abilities and giving you the tools and tricks that you can use to actually create solutions, right? What does it allow you to accomplish? Well, firstly, you can access a ton of jobs. There's a lot of job opportunities for software engineers. And if you niche down into web development, there's opportunities there. If you niche down into artificial intelligence, there's a lot of opportunity there. So the job industry is huge for software developers. If you go on Indeed.com or if you go on any of these websites, there's no shortage of jobs that are available. I think what the real challenge is actually finding good problem solvers who are actually able to deliver on good solutions. And how has AI impacted this course? Basically, with AI coming about, the people are afraid that a lot of software engineers are going to lose jobs, but we're not there yet, right? Like, if anything, it's going to optimize your productivity for me at least, it has made me a lot more efficient as a developer. If I'm struggling with something, I often use ChatGPT, or there's something known as Github Copilot, right? So with Copilot, I'm able to actually code a lot more faster. So I feel like AI is going to mainly help us become more productive and think more about solving an actual problem and not worrying too much about the technicalities behind it, where AI is going to help us figure out those technicalities. Having said that, there's the real skills are going to be in the real skills that you would need to focus on is, of course, you need to know software engineering, because sometimes you get errors that are created by the AI, so you need that expertise still. But I think knowing how to use these AI tools along, like making it part of your workflow, I think that's what's going to make you different, right? So what is software engineering? What does the day of a software engineer look like? So I mean, look, a lot of my work actually happens remotely, so I actually work from home. And the kind of skills that you actually need to become like a web developer specifically is like you need to have a good grip of JavaScript and work with some sort of framework or library. I'm primarily experienced in React and Node, and I think it's really important to have good communication skills. So soft skills are really important, such as good communication, ability to work in teams, because you'll be working a lot in teams, right? And there's the cool thing about being in software engineering is you get to like follow your interests. So initially I was very much interested in basically working with around AI and stuff like that, and from there I shifted my focus to web development. But now with the advent of AI and stuff, I'm implementing a lot of whatever I learned before into what I'm doing, so the cool thing about being a software engineer is you can follow your passions, and there's opportunities wherever you go, right? So what does this course look like? What does software engineering course look like? Basically, day to day, Monday to Friday, we'll be having classes, right? And it's going to be a 2-hour class of live classes with me, where we'll be going through concepts, and then 1 hour will be dedicated to doing like project work, right? Provide examples of how software engineering is used in the world. So I think I am an example where I primarily learned web development, and I'm constantly solving problems. I do a lot of consultations with clients where we break down their problem and we basically create a solution for them. So yeah, that's what it's like, right? So about this course and what you will actually gain from taking this course and what will actually be covered. So I think the biggest takeaway for you is going to be to see what exactly software engineering is like from the lens of web development and actually building a real project for yourself. So I'll be talking more about that, where you'll actually be working on a real world micro internship project for my company, Zaio. Okay. So what are the aspects that will be covered actually? So we'll be primarily focusing on JavaScript. So you're going to learn the basic concepts of JavaScript. Then we're also going to dive into some very algorithmic kind of content, right? Where we'll be learning about a few data structures and how to solve problems, real world problems, using these data structures, right? Then to make things a lot more practical, I'll talk more about that in the real world project, but basically you're also going to learn about, we're going to spend very little time on learning about the front end and how to actually create some kind of page with HTML and CSS and Bootstrap. And then we'll also talk about databases and how can you actually create a full application, right? But majority of the focus is going to be on problem solving and software engineering aspects, right? And key concepts that you need to know as a software engineer, such as object and complexity, object notation. So what are the learning outcomes of the software engineering course? So as I mentioned before, the biggest learning outcomes is going to be to actually have JavaScript in your belt. You're also going to learn how to use Git. You're also going to learn how to use Firebase as a database, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. So these are the biggest things that you're going to learn. These are the key concepts that you're going to learn. And the main goal for me is to actually show you the kind of tools you need to be a software engineer, the kind of concepts you need to know to be a software engineer, at least at a basic level, to create that interest for you so that you can dive deeper into it. It's a really deep thing. People spend 3 years doing a degree on it. I spent 3 years doing a degree on it. So it is a lot of deep stuff, but I think this was the main goal for me is to give you an idea of what it's like to create a solution. And I think with the micro internship, you'll actually be working on a real world project for my company, Zaio, where we'll create like a social media platform like Instagram that's going to allow users to create posts, view posts, and update and delete posts, right? Simple CRUD, it's known as CRUD. And we're going to basically take this from a lens of JavaScript. So we're going to spend a lot of time on JavaScript, and day by day you'll be building up on your core programming concepts, and then we're going to add some UI stuff at the end to just make it a lot more fun and a lot more real. And yeah, if it's a job well done, I'll be really happy to work more deeply on that, right? So what is the goal of this real world project and completing this micro internship and presenting at the end? I think it's to give you that practical experience, because in the real world you will be expected to build applications, right? So it's to give you that practical experience of building an application from start to finish. And I think presenting it, it'll also test your soft skills on what is your communication skills like, and are you able to actually work in a team, right? So there could be a possibility of students working in teams, or if not, there will be students who will be able to present their solutions on their own. Either way, it's a good exposure to actually do this micro internship, right? So how can this profession be applied to life if you choose not to pursue a qualification in software engineering? I think the biggest thing is problem solving, right? You're going to learn how to think like a programmer, and I think the most beautiful thing about that is that you apply problems. You'll have develop a problem solving mindset. So if ever you're experiencing problems in life, you're going to try to look at it from a lens of actually solving the problem as opposed to complaining about it. I think that's been my biggest thing. Whenever I'm having a problem, I don't complain too much about it. I focus on the solution. I think that's a result of my experience in software engineering, if I have to be honest. And also I think whatever domain you choose, eventually somehow you're going to be exposed to software engineering, especially with the advent of AI, like GPT-3 and stuff. There's just so much. You will be exposed to it somehow or the other, right? So what will the students require to actually participate in this program? All you'll need is, in terms of software specifically, is you will need Zoom to actually join the sessions, and also you will be given a pre-work pack that will give you information on what you'll actually need to download. But specifically, you're just going to need Visual Studio Code to actually code this application. You are also going to need some kind of browser like Google Chrome, and that's pretty much it, right? So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward to having students join me. I think I've worked with iExperience for quite a while, and I've had so much fun, delivering training. So I look forward to all the students joining. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free, to reach out to us.